Yeah, this is pretty nice. This is gonna be, yeah. Hello, welcome to the Food 52 Test Kitchen. My name is Josh Cohen. I'm the Test Kitchen Director here. Today we're talking about gravy. A lot of our community members write in asking questions about gravy. Today we're talking about 3 different ways to make gravy ahead of time without the Thanksgiving turkey. After I show you how to make these gravies, we're gonna have some people from the office come and taste it. These roasted chicken wings, along with the roasted vegetables, when you throw them in a pot of water and you cook it for a couple hours, turns into this deep, rich, dark stock. These pieces that are stuck to the parchment paper here are full of amazing flavor. You basically take those with you into the stock pot and you end up with something that's really dark and rich and flavorful. You can add bay leaf, you can add fresh thyme, black peppercorns, coriander seeds. Whole coriander seeds is actually one of my favorite things to throw into a stock pot. Give it like a little extra kind of lemon flavor is nice. For vegetarians, it's the same exact ingredients, but I use mushrooms here in place of the chicken wings. I chose to use shiitake mushrooms and cremini mushrooms. Those both have nice sort of deep, dark flavor. The truth is you could use whatever mushrooms you have available. The stems are also good here. They have a lot of flavor. When you throw them in the stock pot, you're gonna get a nice, rich vegetarian stock. Roasting the ingredients in the oven gives you this amazing color, and that's gonna translate into the final gravy when we make it. The third stock that we made ahead of time, from just the boiled turkey necks and similar vegetables also boiled, nothing was roasted, it's gonna be a lot lighter in color, but the flavor should still be equally strong. Now, I know some Food 52 community members have written into us and said, my stock looks gelatinous, is something wrong? I wanna say to you, nothing is wrong, this is perfect, this is exactly how it should be. When I make a homemade stock, I hope that it comes out looking this way because it means that you've done an amazing job of extracting as much flavor as possible from the bones of whatever you're making the stock out of. Now, when I add this to a pot and I gently heat it back up, it's gonna liquefy again. Now, I've taken our 3 stocks here and I've poured them into these clear glass beakers because I really wanna show the color differential in what we have. The first 2 beakers we have come from the roasted mushroom mise en place and the roasted chicken wing mise en place. I just love how dark and deep the color is on these 2. The turkey neck produced something a lot lighter in color. We didn't roast anything to make this stock. We took raw turkey necks, raw onion, raw celery, raw carrot, and we threw it in. It still has pretty nice color, to be honest. It's not like pale, it's sort of like a golden brown. And what you get with this gravy is the additional meat. When you roast your mushrooms, when you roast your chicken wings and you throw them in the stock pot, after it's been boiling for a couple hours, you can't really eat these anymore. When you gently simmer your turkey neck to make stock, at the end of that process, you don't throw those necks away. You pick the meat off the neck. And so what you get is like a 2-for-1. In addition to the gravy, you get all this amazing meat, which I'm gonna crisp up in a skillet, and we can sprinkle it over our mashed potatoes. We could eat it as a side dish. We could just snack on it before guests arrive. It's sort of like an added bonus to your gravy. All right, time to make the gravy. The idea is you're pretty much always gonna start the same way. You're gonna have fat in the pan, and you're gonna add flour to your fat. That makes something called a roux, R-O-U-X, roux. A general ratio that you can follow for making gravy is 2 tablespoons of fat, 2 tablespoons of flour, and 1 cup of stock. The important part of this step here is you wanna do what's called toast your flour. The flour's raw right now, and if I just mix this flour in with butter and added my stock right away, you would taste the raw flour flavor. It would taste grainy, it would be evident in the gravy. You wanna give your pot a few minutes here to cook the flour in the butter. You even wanna ultimately see the color of your roux turn from like a pale gold to a little bit darker brown. I've been stirring this the whole time because if you don't, it has a tendency to burn on the bottom, which obviously you don't want. So here's the crucial step. I'm not gonna add the stock all at once because that can result in a lumpy gravy. I'm gonna add just a drop and stir, just a drop and stir. It's gonna form almost like a thick paste. And then as I keep adding the stock a little bit at a time, the paste is gonna thin out. It should turn into a nice gravy. You can see it's making this like thick paste. Now the idea is as I keep going, the paste is going to thin out. You can see how if I added the stock all at once, it could result in lumps. But by doing it a little bit at a time, you keep it nice and smooth. If you make your roux and you have your stock and you pour it all in at once and you stir and you find that there's lumps in your gravy, take a fine mesh strainer and pour it through the strainer. Get rid of your lumps. It's as simple as that. If your gravy is too thick, you can always add more stock to thin it out, or you can even add a little bit of water, that's fine. If your gravy is too thin, you can keep cooking it until it thickens, or you could make a second roux, more butter, more flour, and pour your thin gravy over that second roux to thicken it more. Now, I haven't added any salt at all to anything so far. I didn't salt the roasted vegetables, I didn't salt the stock, I didn't salt the roux, so this is very flavor neutral. At this point, as it's starting to thicken up, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and I'll taste it. And again, it becomes about personal preference how salty you want your gravy to be. If you have added salt like early and it tasted perfect at the beginning and then you reduce it down and you realize like, this is too salty now, one option would be take this, set it aside, make a new roux, add a new unsalted stock, and you combine your too salty gravy basically with an unsalted stock. You're gonna have extra gravy, but it's gonna be the right salt level. And you know, someone will eat it. Now to taste these 3 gravies we've made, we're gonna introduce some of our teammates from Food 52. You guys wanna come in? Welcome, welcome. You wanna introduce yourself for the camera?
I'm Danielle, I'm the marketing coordinator.
And I'm Connor, I'm the social media manager.
So the idea is how to make gravy if you don't want to use the drippings from a roast turkey, if you want to make it ahead of time, or if you're a vegetarian, or if you've brined your turkey and the drippings are too salty. These are just different alternatives for gravy options. I'm not going to tell you what these are first. We're going to pour them over the mashed potatoes, and we're just going to taste and see what we experience and what we like, and then we're going to talk about what actually is going on.
I like all of those words in that order.
Yeah.
My ideal gravy is when you roast the neck bones and the giblets, and then you use that to build your stock out. You get really dark, deep, concentrated flavor. Shout out to Ann Bauer for teaching me the proper ways of doing it.
My ideal gravy contains meat. That's really it. That's where it is. Right there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we taste?
Should we go lightest to darkest?
Yeah. We should go lightest to darkest.
Okay.
All right. So let's start in the middle here.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
The yolk.
I was gonna say volcano.
Because it's very light. Like I feel like you would just constantly eat that.
Yeah.
And it would never.
It's kind of dangerous because like portion 5, portion 6
It goes down
you're still,
easy.
like ready to go.
Do you have any guesses about whether
I'm
this
gonna
is
go vegetable.
vegetarian or turkey, or do you think this is a
I'm
vegetarian?
gonna go vegetarian or turkey for
I
that
think
one.
that's turkey. I think the color makes it seem.
That's fair. I'm going
Turkey-ish.
vegetarian or turkey.
Number 2.
Pecan? Yeah.
Oh, gotta make sure I get the gravy.
So the truth is, one of these is going to be turkey, one is going to be actually chicken, and one is going to be
That's chicken.
vegetarian.
That's chicken. I think that's
Very
chicken.
confident.
Yeah.
I'm not that confident.
Mushroom.
Flavorful.
Oh my god.
Fair. We're gonna 100% go vegetables on that
Yeah,
one.
that's absolutely
Like-
mushroom.
Do you change your guess then on what that first one was?
Nope.
Because you were starting to
So
think that
chicken,
this would...
I'm gonna go chicken, vegetable, no, chicken, turkey, veggies.
Chicken, turkey, veggie.
You were both right.
Yes!
100% correct.
I also stole half of his answers.
Connor,
Yes,
you're like a
mushroom.
gravy savant. The moment you taste it, you're like, chicken, done.
Let's not let that get around to the office.
And I just, I'm gonna sit back, see
Now-
what his guess is.
Now, I'm gonna add one more wrinkle that could change the way you think about everything. And that's because when you roast your ingredients and you turn it into stock, and basically you're done using those roasted ingredients. But when you use turkey necks and you simmer them, you can save the meat, and you can crisp the meat up in a pan, and you get this added thing. Maybe you think that the roasted gravy is better than the turkey neck gravy, but if you commit to the turkey necks, you get this extra bonus, which is the crispy meat pieces.
Okay.
And this is the reason why you'd want to make this gravy, is because you get the byproduct of the necks.
Get in here.
I think it's worth making just for the crispy meat alone, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So what I've done in the past for my Thanksgiving, order the necks like a week ahead of time. You can make the stock. You could do it a month ahead of time if you wanted to. Make the stock, and you can freeze it. Freeze your stock, and you pull the neck meat and you hold it. You could even freeze the meat too. And then a day ahead of time, you make the gravy, and right before guests arrive, you make this crispy turkey neck meat, and everyone's happy.
I feel like
Yeah,
this crispy turkey is
It's a game changer. Game
Okay.
changer.
Like, I'm not a turkey person, but this makes me want to eat turkey.
Yeah,
So-
that's bomb.
We're just like, I can't.
Now, some people are really attached to the pan drippings, the traditional way of doing things, but the crispy turkey neck and these options here, we have options.
Yeah.
We have options. Count of three, we're gonna grab our favorite. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Everyone's happy. What we showed today is you can make stock ahead of time, you can do roasted, you can do just simmered, and many different avenues to successful gravy. As long as you have a stock that you're proud of and you follow the proper technique, no lumps, not too salty, you're gonna be happy.